What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. Hi, it's Keisha. Nice to meet you all. Getting here because you've got quite a bit to get on into. So it's not a great time to be certain celebrities. You know what? I'm all here for it. I'm all here for people who feel like they can get away with doing X, Y, and Z just because they're celebrities and because money talks, and no one will ever know. No one will ever know. Like, it's cool. I'm taking this to the grave with me. No, you're not. Nice try, bitch, but no. Okay? I'm all here for people being called out when necessary. I feel as though if you do the crime, you should be able to do the time. It's not normal to go about people. It's not normal to go about causing harassment to other people. It's not, these things are not normal, and we're seeing so many celebrities go through so many things, and rightfully so again. We're hearing so many stories, and it just feels like a lot, not gonna lie, but this truly has been the year of exposure, where a lot of celebrities felt that they were going to be untouched, and that, like I mentioned earlier, they would take certain things to the grave with them. Absolutely not, baby. People are talking. The streets are talking. The victims are talking, more importantly, and I'm here for it. Let's listen to their stories. So it is confirmed that there's going to be a documentary taking place on Chris Brown, which is going to be highlighting. This ain't a new conversation when it comes to Chris Brown. People constantly go on about the whole Rihanna abuse. It's not just that, though. It goes further than that. You would think, oh, after that situation, he would have learnt. He would have realised, hey, keep my hands to myself, leave women alone. Just keep it cute and keep it stepping, you know? But no, he didn't. There's several things that's happened after the whole Rihanna situation. And yeah, there's so many people that I even know personally who still love Chris Brown, who would attend his shows, who listen to his music. And some people can separate the art from the artist. Each to their own. You do you. Wrong is wrong. And you know, we're constantly talking about Diddy, and my foot is still going to be on Diddy's neck, because what the flip are you doing? Do you know what I mean, babes? Like, rightfully so. I think that we also need to go ahead and talk about other stories which just don't sound right. We're going to go ahead and talk about Chris Brown, but I feel like next for me, in my humble opinion, is Trey Songz. True. There's been too much about this man, and I feel like it just gets brushed under the rug. And I do think that these people, not all of them, certainly not Diddy, but there is a lot of people who I feel like benefit from pretty privilege or being attractive. You wouldn't believe them because they're attractive. Oh, they could never. And it's like, bro, anyone's capable of anything. I feel like Chris Brown, Trey Songz needs to be investigated. There was a few things that came out about Trey Songz, but then everything just kind of went silent. I don't know what that is about. A new documentary about the litany of violence allegations against R&B singer Chris Brown, dating back almost 2 decades, promises to unveil the allegations of a new accuser who hasn't previously spoken about their experience with the star in Chris Brown, A History of Violence. The documentary, set to be released October the 27th on Investigation Discovery, will chronicle the singer's past all the way back to his troubled childhood, and include the testimony of an identified unidentified accuser who says they have not spoken about this matter publicly, but that's the only way he can be stopped. A trailer for the documentary released Monday calls Christopher Brown an iconic accused convicted celebrity, and includes an unidentified woman's voiceover labeling him an abuser of women consistently, unapologetically. Chris Brown was in 2009 accused, not just accused, it was a fact, of assault his then girlfriend, pop star and billionaire Rihanna, leaving her physical facial injuries that required she be hospitalized. Chris Brown turned himself in to the police and ultimately accepted a plea deal. He pled guilty to felony assault and was sentenced to probation, community service, and ordered to attend domestic violence counseling. Well, that didn't help, did it? Since then, he has been involved in several public fights with other celebrities. He has faced lawsuits accusing him and has a restraining order granted against him at the request of an ex-girlfriend who provided a court with a threatening text message and voicemails. He also allegedly pushed Karrueche down the stairs, and in the voicemail was basically threatening to unalive her. There will be a long list of various different women who have accused Chris Brown of the incident with Rihanna has followed Chris Brown throughout his entire career, and the singer has addressed it on multiple occasions, including last year, when he said people who still hate him for the mistake. Alright, what we're not going to do is live in Delulu land. Like, I hate when people try and make, first and foremost, I hate when fans try and make it seem like, oh my god, but it's just the whole Rihanna situation. Even if it was just that, that should be enough, honestly, for good riddance. Now, the sad part is Chris Brown is talented. The potential certainly is there, but it's the wrongdoings that are hindering him, and rightfully so. Now, let's clock it, because if this was the real world and not Hollywood, Christopher Brown would not have a job, would not be able to perform on stage, would not be able to be around people for that matter. If this was the real world, he would be struggling to make ends meet or to find a path where his past does not define him. So all this complaining about, oh my God, he's so underrated, clock why he is underrated and clock what he's done. And don't say that he's held himself accountable if he's still doing similar things after the whole Rihanna situation. Abusing somebody is not a normal thing. It's not like you just stole from a shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you just stole from a shop and, oh my God, no, this is completely different. This is causing a harm onto another person because you can't control your temper. And we can't use the excuse of, okay, but I saw my dad doing it to my mum. Yeah, but you're not your dad though. Learn from the mistakes. Know what is right and what is not acceptable. So let's not do this whole thing of mistake, all right? I hate when fans do it, and I hate when it's coming from the horse's mouth. This is not a mistake. This is you not knowing how to control your temper and keep your hands to yourself, more importantly. The mistake of assaulting Rihanna can kiss the effing ass. This is what I don't like about him, this whole passive aggression thing of like, if you guys don't think I've changed, then kiss my ass. It's like, no, like, bruh. There is still a monster that lives within you. You know, you even making a song, I think it was called Back to Sleep with Usher and Zayn Malik. Yeah, I never thought I would say that. And there was lyrics that he said in there where he said, and it's basically around the time where Karrueche had broken up with him. Not me saying Karrueche. Karrueche had just broken up with him because he's literally a monster who literally is like stalking and watching her every move and just like possessive. And that isn't attractive in any way. And then he basically hopped on this remix and said, I just want you to love me. And you know singers are going to sing on a track. And then he said, you want me to say her name, girl? Okay, Karrueche. Do you guys remember that? That was huge. That was big. I think it was like back in 2015 or 2016. You want me to say her name, yeah. Okay. Karrueche, he really put an at on it. But for me, I feel like you're tormenting her peace. To do it publicly on a record where you know millions of people are going to be tuning in, that's icky to me. And thank God she never went back. Thank God she stood her ground. I think that a lot of in these situations believe that I'm greater than you can never be capable of any of these great things. I think Karrueche's still acting and stuff like that. I think she has her own business and stuff, and she doesn't want to talk about him, and I think that is completely acceptable. She's allowed to do whatever she wants to do, but I think that she generally hates his guts, and rightfully so. Some people don't know how to control themselves, and those types of people should not be out roaming the streets. There's a special place for them. There was actually a documentary that Chris Brown made back in 2017 where I guess he was holding himself somewhat accountable for what went down on the night of the, on Rihanna. And he said, the night of the assault was the deepest regret of my life. And in the 2017 documentary said his relationship with Rihanna made him feel like a monster. Well, yes. Since then, he's been followed by more accusations of abuse. He was accused of battery in a 2013 fight with the singer Frank Ocean, who did not press charges. Frank Ocean had won a Grammy, and as you can see, people were standing up and applauding him, apart from Chris Brown, who decided to sit down and basically be childish. And later that year, pled guilty to a misdemeanor for punching a man who asked to take a photo with him. This is what I'm trying to say. You can't keep your hands to yourself, in the words of Selena Gomez, babes. You should not be here. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter the potential. And also, can we please stop comparing him to Michael Jackson in terms of talent? Like, Chris Brown is talented. There's no, like, I'm not going to sit on here and try to sugarcoat it or lie to you guys. The guy definitely has or had the potential, had the package. Had he been able to focus on his career and not be a bully to people, specifically women, then he would not be in this situation where his past is lingering over him. I remember, I think it was maybe like 2-3 years ago, he was finally allowed to come back to London after like 11 years of the UK not claiming him. Could it have also been because Rihanna is a big household name? If Rihanna wasn't the abuser, I don't know how the situation would look, truthfully, okay? But unfortunately, it was Rihanna. It was a huge pop star. It was somebody who was loved by millions globally. I mean, it's Rihanna, do you know what I mean? Now, she was able to forgive him, maybe not straight away, but she did go back to him and people had their opinions on it. She did entertain him for a bit, and then it was good riddance. And I think that now she's finally able to understand that that's not how a human being should behave. And I think maybe it took her a little bit longer to get that. You can accept someone's apology and just want good riddance and nothing to do with them. But my thing is, Chris Brown is kind of weird though, because Rihanna had attended the carnival and she looked amazing, like her outfit went viral, and then Chris Brown commented on her Instagram post with the eye emoji, and people just weren't feeling it. People are like, no, like, back off. I think he's been gassed up his whole life to believe that he's exceptionally good looking and that he's a fine ass man. That doesn't matter when we're talking about abuse. Same thing happens with Trey Songz too. Oh my god, but these people are so attractive, they could never, like, leave them alone. They get a pass. I think attractive people do typically get a pass. In 2016, he was sued for false imprisonment by his former manager, Mike G. The case was later settled out of court without an admission of guilt. In 2018, Chris Brown was accused of co-conspiring, aiding and abetting in an assault that took place at a party at his home. The case was later dismissed. Chris Brown was detained in Paris in 2019 in connection to an aggravated RAPE allegation and drug infractions, and was sued by a woman in 2022 who claimed Chris Brown RAPED her in Miami. Though both cases were later dropped in July, Chris Brown was sued for $50 million after 4 men accused him and members of his entourage of backstage at a concert. An attorney has denied that Chris Brown ever initiated physical contact with anyone. That is a big statement, by the way. Chris Brown, and it's not a thing where it's like, okay, people are just making this up. Chris Brown kind of puts this in his material, though. Chris Brown will talk about how, like, you can't play with me. Like, even with, like, the diss track with Quavo, like, people were bigging him up for it because, like, oh my god, like, Chris Brown can rap. But, like, you need to hear the material of what he's saying. This is somebody who's aware of the fact that they get women, and women love to throw themselves at him, and there's a lot of groupies that they are accessible around them. Chris Brown is a father, but still couldn't get it right. Because the thing is, when it comes to these situations, is some people generally do grow and change and do better. And, you know, you hear the stories of people saying, like, yeah, when I had kids, it truly changed my life. I don't believe that was the case for Chris Brown. I truly do not believe. I think that he is somebody who has this ego about him, and he's somebody who's cocky, and you can even tell by his demeanor that he believes he's the ish. I think that we need to highlight the fact that there are so many people who have come forward, women and men, talking about the fact that this man can't keep his hands to himself and that he's a violent being. And I don't know whether it was learnt, but either way, there are ways that you can unlearn it. You can do heaps and heaps, and you have plenty of resources. You have so much money to be able to talk to the right people, engage in the right types of conversations, but no, you're constantly going back at it, back and forth with different media developments who don't rock with you, and rightfully so. People do not F with abusers. Some people are like willing to allow it to slide, but there's a lot of people who just don't like that, and a lot of brands who don't want to work with you. But then Chris Brown will go on his platform and start shading the hell out of them, where it's like, no, focus on the issue here, which is you. You can't keep your hands to yourself. It's a nasty look for you, and nobody wants to be associated with you. I mean, there are some celebrities though. There are some celebrities who still collaborate with him. Kalani, Normani was working with him not too long ago. Chloe, what's his name? Raul Alejandro? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm so sorry, but that man's fine. Anyways, but seriously though, like, he collaborate, like, he's still getting collaborators and people who still rock with him and still showing up to his parties and stuff. Chris Brown's also mentioned, I think very briefly, in one of Diddy's lawsuits. It's not a good look for him. To be fair with Chris Brown, it's never been a good look. I do think that he had a mini redemption arc when he went viral for the song Under the Influence, but I do think that he had some sort of resurgence in the public eye for a lot of people who were like, you know what, I don't mess with SY, and I don't mess with, you know, the whole Rihanna situation, but sure, he's changed, he would never. I feel like a lot of people don't really know a lot about his past, and I don't expect everyone to know. I don't think people are just like sitting down waiting to research or whatever, but I think a lot of these cases have never been as big as a Rihanna case, based on the fact that it was also Rihanna. So yeah, I think that he needs a lot of work and needs to be able to realize that in a lot of people's minds, you can't be a talented being and also an abuser. There isn't room for both. There has been though, because he's been able to comfortably go in the industry, and of course not every space is taking him, and I'm sure there's certain festivals and arenas that he can't perform at, but like literally for the rest of his life, but he's still able to make money. He's still touring. Anyways guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and yes, I'll catch you guys real soon for a brand new video. Bye.